Hey everyone. Some of you may know me, some of you may not know me. I think for those who are YouTubers who create content, I'm sure many of you guys can say that it takes effort, it takes time to make YouTube videos. No matter if all you do is if okay, I don't want to say all you do. No matter if you do reaction content or you react to videos, whether you do like those really long like essay kind of videos.
In this 4.5 hour video essay, I'm going to explore why SpongeBob is, a really good show. Part 1.
Doing all these sorts of things, they take a lot of time. So the last thing you want to see is someone just taking all of your work and putting it as like their own. It sucks that if there's someone out there who's taking like a shortcut and just gaining success through your means. Now, to give some context as to what I'm talking about, I'm a big fan of Naruto, so lately I've been watching a lot of Naruto content, and most of the videos I've been watching have come from this YouTuber whose name is DygoKnight. He makes like all these Naruto theories, he explains certain like major plots of the show, he exposes some potential plot holes, and he just does like these very he does these analysis on a lot of different events and characters within Naruto. And even from the start of watching this guy, which shout out to him, he makes some great content, you should check out his stuff. I'm gonna get recommended his videos a lot more. But one day I got recommended one of his videos, except it wasn't from him. It was from this other channel that was by the name of KonohaChronicles. But the reason I thought that it was DygoKnight was that the thumbnails just looked so similar. I could barely tell them apart. Obviously I wasn't like completely fooled. Like I couldn't tell which one's which. How I don't know which channel's which. But obviously, for a second I was confused. I thought I was on Daigo's channel, but no, it was a whole other channel by the name of Konoha Chronicles. What I plan to do here is take a closer look at this Konoha Chronicles guy, his channel, and I'm gonna be going from like surface level to like what we can see just from like first click on his page, all the way to like thoroughly like looking into his videos. So I'm gonna be going over his thumbnails, I'm gonna be going over the actual videos themselves, and just going deeper and deeper into this Konoha Chronicles guy's channel to kind of see like why they're so similar. So right off the bat, as soon as you go on his page, the first thing you obviously notice is all the thumbnails. And I think, like, I'm not crazy for saying this, there's no doubt, but they look exactly the same as DygoKnight's thumbnails. It's not the exact same font, text, technically, but the way he uses it is exactly the same. Let's just do a quick analysis of DygoKnight's, like, his style for his thumbnails, so you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about. So I'd say that DygoKnight has three styles how he does thumbnails. Sometimes the thumbnail will be like an entire panel with just like text on the top, so it'll be like on like the top layer, like covering the entire like top of the thumbnail. Sometimes it'll be like the classic, like with the character to like one side of the thumbnail with text like covering like the entire half. So one half is the character right here, and the other half is just a bunch of text right here, saying something like, oh, this makes no sense, or this character did what? Oh my god, I can't believe he did this. And his final type is, it's like a comparison. He'll have like character on one side, character on another side, and it'll be like split down the middle. So it'll be like comparing this character and this character. Oh, this guy versus this guy. Oh, she versus he versus whoever. All those styles of thumbnails that DygoKnight uses, we can see on the Konoha Chronicles channel. All of those styles are also used, those different types of thumbnails. So we can see the style that he uses, the way he formats the thumbnails, at least, they're similar. Big whoop. Those three, they're kind of like pretty common ways of like making a thumbnail. If you scroll for like, you search up any video, I'm sure like there's like a 90% chance the thumbnail that you like of the video you click on is going to be one of those three styles. It's one thing to be inspired by another person's thumbnail or work. It's one thing to like look at someone else's work and be like, wow, this is really cool, and like take pieces of it, or kind of do what they do and like change it up a bit, make it your own version. But the way this Konoha Chronicle guy makes thumbnails, he doesn't use the exact same font, but it looks very similar, and the way he just like decides to place it, like the exact placements, it's practically the same as DygoKnight's. So yeah, I want to take a closer look at his thumbnails and compare it to that of DygoKnight's. Like, look at this specific video right here of DygoKnight's. Why the Rashomon gates make no sense. In the thumbnail, it's a picture of them whenever Orochimaru uses them, and it says the most bizarre summon That's all it says. And then I come over here to Konoha Chronicles, and he has the thumbnails are even in like the same format with like the text stretching like for the entire like top of the thumbnail. And then the title also says the same thing. The Rashomon gates don't make sense in the Naruto series. Now it's changed slightly. One of them says why it makes no sense. One of them says it makes no sense in the Naruto series, but like it's just too similar. It's too one and the same. Even if you saw someone talk about like a topic, like if you're a YouTuber who talks about like the same series or TV show as someone and you talk about like the same like theory or topic as they do, their video can't be this similar to theirs. They're not gonna have like, at least as far as like the thumbnail goes. I'll talk about the video itself later, or one of them. But like if someone else is gonna make a video about the Rashomon gates, let's say, like what are the chances that they're gonna also say, assuming they didn't see the other person's video and it's completely their own, what are the chances that they were also gonna name it like, oh, the Rashomon gates don't make sense? Wouldn't they have named it like the Rashomon gates are too overpowered, or how do the Rashomon gates in Naruto work? It'd be something like that, you know. It wouldn't be the exact same thing. But I don't think it's enough for me to just go through all these thumbnails, look at all these videos. So I'm gonna summarize one of DygoKnight's videos, and I'm gonna go to a video very similar on the Konoha Chronicles video. And I'm gonna compare the two and tell you guys how they're so similar and why one is basically copied right off the other. So in DygoKnight's video, his main point, the point of the video, is why the substitution jutsu in Naruto it's a poorly written like power to have in Naruto. And there's multiple points he makes in the video as to why it's like a terribly written like power in Naruto. So I'm gonna list at least most of the points he has there, just so you guys kind of understand like what this video is about.
This jutsu is so problematic. It is essentially the get out of jail free card of Naruto. Every time a character gets hit by a jutsu, when Kishimoto doesn't know exactly how the character is supposed to get out of that situation, substitution jutsu. And the thing is, we usually don't see characters setting up that jutsu. Now, sometimes it's fine for you to have characters not showing their setups in the middle of a fight, but when they pull that off every single time when they use the jutsu, that gets annoying, because when somebody actually gets hit by something, you're gonna ask yourself, wait a minute, why didn't he use the substitution jutsu? Jiraiya, come on. The only time we see anyone weaving hand signs for the substitution jutsu is when Sakura is fighting against the Sound Ninjas in the Forest of Death, where she used that very clever technique, to be honest, of using the substitution over and over again. And then when Zaku is thinking, oh, she's going to use it again, where is she coming from? She doesn't use it. She takes the shurikens to her legs and arms, and then she attacks Zaku. And the worst thing about this jutsu is that it's an E rank technique. E rank is literally the lowest tier of jutsus in the Naruto universe. The simplest jutsus for you to master that require the least chakra that academy students are supposed to master before they leave the academy. It's not even a ninja jutsu, it's before that even. Okay, so this character is casting Amaterasu against this other character, for example. Amaterasu is an extremely powerful jutsu supposed to destroy anything it hits, and it requires an intense amount of chakra. Why wouldn't the target of Amaterasu simply substitute? Well, assuming you substituted and you used the hand signs beforehand, you would be able to get out of Amaterasu scot-free, which is an amazing trade-off thinking about a chakra perspective, because you used an E-rank jutsu that barely requires any chakra. Even Kakashi was spamming this thing non-stop, so it means it really doesn't require a lot of chakra to dodge Amaterasu, something that's impossible to dodge, but you can do it because you get hit by it and then you just change places with something else. And also the Amaterasu caster used so much more chakra than you. You're now at a great advantage in the fight.
Okay, so from his video, from all like the little segments I showed, here are DygoKnight's points for this video. The first one is that it's practically a get out of jail free card. How it works is that you have to get hit by something and then you just replace yourself with like a nearby object. So basically, you can get yourself out of like any attack someone pulls at you, you just get out of it. The second point is that there's never any setup. Like whenever it's used, it just comes out of nowhere, and then if someone doesn't use it, you question, why didn't they use it? And he mentions the only time we've ever seen a setup is with Sakura in the Death Forest. Third one is that it's basically a very OP jutsu. Like it can basically negate like some of the most powerful jutsus in the series, like the Amaterasu, or like I don't know, the shit they were pulling in like the War Arc, all that crazy stuff they were doing. But you could hypothetically just substitute, not get hit by it. Now the final point he makes is that it's like an E rank jutsu, like anyone can learn it. All like the elite Jonins all the way down to the little ninja babies, all those guys can just, you know, substitute till the end of days. So yeah, 4 of those. Maybe there's 1 or 2 that I'm missing, but those 4, those are the main points that he brings up in his video. Now I'm gonna take a look at Konoha Chronicles video. Now I'm not gonna play snippets of his like actual video, this Konoha guy, just because I don't want to, you know, if he tries to. I'm not saying this guy would. I'm not saying, you know, he's the type of guy to go there, but you never know. Like maybe he's gonna try to copyright strike, do something in my video because I played a little snippet of his, even though it would be fair. I just don't want to risk it. But luckily, YouTube has this feature. I have no idea when they added this, but it has like, there's like this transcript thing where you could just like read a whole line of text that it's basically that, like it's text of everything that was said in the video. So I'm gonna take a look at that instead. So there's these 4 lines of text here. They appear from 2 minutes to 2 minutes and 6 seconds in Konoha Chronicles video. It's in Spanish, the text, but basically what it says is, oh, in Naruto, it gives these characters a free pass. Whenever Kishimoto doesn't know how to write them out of a fight, how to like have them dodge a certain attack, he'll just make it a substitution jutsu to get them out of there. And yeah, that's the same thing that DygoKnight said. I mean, DygoKnight said a get out of jail free card. A free pass, you know, potato here. Alright, hey, what's up, guys? So I'm just coming in here because I guess there was one thing I forgot to mention. There's one of these points I forgot to mention. So it's DygoKnight's second point, how the jutsu has no setup. I guess when I was going through Konoha Chronicles video, I forgot to show that he also copies that point. So originally I only showed 3 of them. But here, it's before he makes the first one, which is at 155. Here at 144, he makes the second point of DygoKnight's, that the jutsu has no setup. So I guess with Konoha's, it's in, you know, different orders. Some things are here, maybe the first point's here, 4th one's here, 3rd one's here, 2nd one's at the very end. But it's still all the same points. But anyways, yeah, I forgot to show the second point, which is that it has no setup, which is right here. He says at 144. Okay, so from 144 to 153, basically what it says is that, to make matters worse, like, you never see any setup, you never see any, like, that the jutsu requires hand seals to activate, but we never see anyone do them. And in a fight, whenever it's used, it's just kind of implied that the ninja did it beforehand, off screen, and when they got hit with the attack, they were just already prepared to use the substitution jutsu. So yeah, that's the same exact point that DygoKnight made. It's his second point. So yeah, just, you know, future Joan button in to include that. I guess I forgot to include it originally. So, but yeah. So over here, for basically what's his second point, he says it breaks the logic of the Naruto universe, and essentially you can just get out of any attack that's thrown at you if you just use a substitution jutsu, which is, again, the second point that DygoKnight made. And if you scroll down a little bit more, you see he also brings up the point of how easy of a jutsu it is. It's an E rank jutsu. Anyone can learn it. And that's exactly what DygoKnight said. So yeah, like I said, throughout Konoha Chronicles, throughout this like entire channel, all the topics and subjects he talks about, almost all of them are the same ones that DygoKnight talks about. And listen, if there's so many YouTubers talking about such a popular series, there's only so much you can talk about. At some point, some guys, they're just gonna like make a video about the same topic. Even for a series as large as Naruto, I mean, there's like 700 chapters or 500 episodes for the TV show. Even for a show like that large, eventually some people are, you know, they're gonna just kind of talk about like maybe not the exact like one for one the same things, but like stuff during like the same event, the same chapter, the same characters. Still, there's always going to be like a slight difference, even in like the points you bring up, your opinion, what you think of it, how you explain it, how you present it. It's always going to be slightly different, but between these two channels, it's always constantly the same. And now listen, I'm someone who does YouTube wanting to actually do it like full time eventually. Like, I want to become successful on YouTube. I've never talked about that. So I don't want to tell anyone else how they should make content. Oh, you shouldn't do this, you should do this. You know, I want other people to have complete freedom, do what they want to do, because I'm doing what I want to do. I'm making all sorts of content. I'm doing gaming videos, I'm doing commentary videos, I'm doing whatever this is. So it's not that I have any problem with this channel making like Naruto content. Obviously, I don't even care. I'm sure Daigo doesn't even care, the YouTuber himself, that he's making similar content to his. Although when you're blatantly just, you know, kind of taking what someone else is talking about, just stealing their content, what they're talking about, taking their words and putting it right in your video, basically almost word for word, then maybe there's a bit of a problem there. So to you, Mr. Konoha Chronicles, all I have to say is there's nothing wrong with you making Naruto content, but you should just make them like on your own. You could talk about these topics, but just do the research, come up with the script, you know, write everything yourself. And people will enjoy that content still. Like, people are still gonna come around. You can still keep doing what you're doing, but I just, you gotta make it yourself, you know. But yeah, I just wanted to make a video about about that, about this certain phenomenon. And I know this isn't the only time this happened. There's this other YouTuber who, I don't know what his channel name is, but he speed runs like Zelda games. And I saw that there was like another YouTuber who stole his content and like did the exact same thing. And just like, I've seen in multiple cases of like channels who are like basically like uploading like the same videos that someone else is making. But yeah, I just want to talk about that. So see you later, guys.